I wanted to clear up some confusion over a recent sanctuary policy that Nye County passed called the FASTT Most program, and correct an error about this program reported in the Pahrump Valley Times newspaper. First of all, the policy is a sanctuary policy because it calls for criminals to avoid arrest. If they avoid arrest, then these criminals will never be checked for immigration status. This is what the sheriff has told me. The only way to check someone's immigration status or report them to ICE is to arrest them. So a criminal who avoids arrest won't be reported to ICE. And that's what the recently passed program is designed to do. So this sanctuary policy is made up actually of two programs passed at the same time by the Board of Commissioners here in Nye County in February: FASTT and MOST. In an article published on Friday, March 7th, the Pahrump Valley Times newspaper wrote, "Anyone connected with the FASTT MOST program would have already been identified as a citizen by the sheriff's office." This is false, because the goal of the FASTT and MOST programs are to avoid arrest. That's why these programs exist. And if arrest is not made, then determination of immigration status is unknown. For example, under MOST, a community provider may refer a criminal directly to the MOST program instead of police. So here we have a person connected to the MOST program who has not only not been identified as a citizen by the sheriff, but the sheriff has never even made aware that the person exists. Of course, the sheriff can't guarantee someone is a citizen if he doesn't even know who the person is. And that's one of the features of the MOST program. Let's briefly look at both the FASTT and MOST programs separately. Under FASTT, the goal is to avoid arrest. This means they will try and avoid any immigration status check, and they will try to avoid reporting to ICE, because you can't check immigration status or report to ICE if you avoid arrest. Let me read from the State of Nevada's website on FASTT. The purpose of this program is to address the behavioral health needs of people involved in or at risk of involvement in the criminal justice system by providing an array of community-based diversion services designed to keep individuals with behavioral health issues out of the criminal justice system, to work with law enforcement to avert arrest. This means that they will advocate to stop a criminal from being arrested. It continues. Early diversion focuses on the role of law enforcement working collaboratively with community behavioral health providers to prevent arrest and adjudication. The emphasis of this program is on diversion from arrest. Again, no arrest, no immigration check is possible, and no reporting to ICE is possible. Now let's turn to the MOST program now. Under MOST, clinicians will ride with law enforcement. Here in Nye County, our sheriff says this will not happen. But this can change tomorrow. Again, the policy is a sanctuary policy that was passed by commissioners. The sheriff, choosing for right now not to allow this, is fine, but he can change his mind, or a new sheriff can decide to go along with the sanctuary policy at any time. So again, the policy is a sanctuary policy. Also, community providers, whatever that means, may refer criminals directly to MOST under the program, as I said before. This avoids police, and it means that there will never be an immigration check or report to ICE if a criminal is directed to MOST directly by a community provider and not law enforcement. Once again, no arrest, no immigration check, no reporting to ICE. Let me read now from the program, MOST program, up on the State of Nevada's website. Most clinicians will ride along with law enforcement. That's the purpose of the program, one of the purposes. Most referrals are accepted from public and private community providers when they believe a follow-up contact by most will be beneficial to persons with behavioral health concerns. So instead of calling police, you call the MOST program. This provides many opportunities to avoid police completely, which are intact, even with this sheriff saying that he doesn't go along with some of these programs. And this avoids immigration checks and avoids reporting to ICE. This is pretty simple stuff. I'm just reading from the program description on the state's website. There's no inserting from me. I'm just repeating what I read. And that's what the program as passed will do. Any other services provided by taxpayers under FASTT Most is identical to services already provided by the drug court and other assistance programs already in place. So FASTT Most only gives law enforcement a tool in their tool belt to allow criminals to avoid being arrested and reported to ICE. I don't know about you, but I don't want the sheriff to have this tool. If Nye County wants to identify as a non-sanctuary county the way a man identifies as a woman by wearing a dress, I would say this is a deceptive lie to citizens. Because Nye County has a sanctuary policy in FASTT Most. By the way, I did vote yes to make Nye County a non-sanctuary county at the last meeting. But this sanctuary FASTT Most policy provides illegal alien criminals a pathway to avoid being reported to ICE. That's my biggest problem. The sheriff isn't an issue. It's the policy. The policy itself is bad, and I voted against this policy, joining with another commissioner, but it still passed by a vote of 3-2. So that means we have a sanctuary policy in our non-sanctuary county. Let me put it another way that may be easier to understand. Nye County taxpayers are paying people to ask our sheriff not to arrest criminals so they are never reported to ICE. Now you decide whether that's a sanctuary policy or not. Either way, why are we paying people to ask the sheriff not to report criminals to ICE, even if it's not being done? Aren't there better things that we can do with that money? I hope this helped you understand what's going on, and I hope you consider signing up at ianbayne.com for regular updates on government. Thank you for watching this. I'm Ian Bayne, and I authorize this message.